The reason why you're not able to get stops or you're giving up one-play touchdowns in CFP 26 because you're probably calling coach suggestions, or worse, you don't know which playbook you should be using. Well, in this video, I'm breaking down the top 3 playbooks you must be using in college football 26 if you want to start playing lockdown defense. I just helped this player do it, and I'm going to do the same for you so long as you follow these playbooks. Let's jump right into it. All right, this first playbook is going to be one for those zone players. If you want to have your defense set and you know what they're going to do, this is the one for you. Alright, so the reason why I say that is because we're going to come into, I think my camera's covering a little bit, but you see 3-3 men. This is a really good, overall playbook here. Okay, the first thing we're going to look at is more of like a stock kind of defense here and what you can do with this. So again, safety depth, close, safety with pinch. A lot of the time I like to have my curl flats on 5 and then kind of adjust my defense from there. But we're going to come into cover 3 cloud again. Base defense, I know not everyone wants to be a pro player and just make a whole bunch of adjustments for the ball snap. Okay, but one thing I will say is you want to shift your D-line left, so D-pad left, then left stick left right here, right? So you're going to shift your D-line left. You're going to try to stand right here over this center, and essentially this is a great switch stick defense because you're going to get the attention of that center, and then you're going to be able to switch stick onto linebackers just like I do there and kind of take everything away depending on, again, what route concept and what play they actually have called. So again, you're kind of banking here on your user ability, and then you're also able to see you're able to get quick pressure with a quick little shed inside. You do a good job of using the crosser momentarily. You could switch to here if you wanted to. You can see I want to switch to here to take away this tight end wheel route, and you're going to get a lot more interceptions just because you're switching all over the field. I'm going to be honest with you, it's very intimidating when you're on offense to see someone who's like basically just switching all over the field, right, and taking everything away. Like they're everywhere basically, and because it's like when you're switch sticking and I'm playing offense, it's like where you switch, I have to look somewhere else. And so if you're constantly switching, you're constantly forcing them to basically go elsewhere on a play. And you're able to see, we're able to take away this wheel route, boom. We're able to take away the dig route with this, flat. We're able to take away the crosser with our deep safety. So we're pretty much everywhere with a pretty simple defense like that. But the great thing is this 3-3 mint formation is not done because obviously having great coverage is cool, but what about being able to get the quarterback on the ground? And actually this is straight from my defensive ebook from this playbook here. More on how you can get that for a discount later in the video. But if we come back into nickel 3-3 mint, Sam Mike 3 press, all right, we're going to set this blitz up. We're going to call it, we're going to use this linebacker. This is a really good blitz and you really need to pay attention. This is one of the first blitzes, one of the most unique blitzes because you're essentially able to get 4 people on one side of the offensive line simply by shifting your D-line to the left. Okay, or yeah, in this case, you're going to shift them to the left. Now, essentially, you can just drop this other defensive end into a hook curl or whatever you want to do, and now you're only going to be sending 4, but all 4 of them are going to be on the left side of the offensive line, which again, if you can just turbo engage, so I would press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. If you turbo engage with the line, you're going to be able to see how you get a guy to come completely free, even when they block their running back. Why? Because again, you're just overloading one side of the line. And even right here, I kind of don't even accomplish my mission of getting the attention of the center. The guard kind of slides over. But here's the key. Number 71. This is the guy that you want to make sure you're looking at. 71, the man that he was supposed to be blocking, he's blocking air now. He's not blocking anyone. And that's really the greatest advantage to this is, you're essentially able to make it to where they only have 4 offensive linemen and maybe their running back sometimes. All right, so again, shift your D-line to the left, drop your defensive end right here into a vert hook, pass commit your defense. You're going to stand right here over the center, and then you're basically going to just try to run into him as soon as the ball snapped. All right, so I'm going to do it again. This time I execute it perfectly, and then you're able to see we get our guys to kind of loop around the line. Now, unfortunately, my defensive tackle right there kind of screwed the play up by running to the right. If he just ran to the left, we would have had a huge numbers advantage. It's still going to be very, very easy and really, really good blitz for you, and that's why you need to make sure that you're trying out the 3-3-5 playbook. All right, that first playbook is just a taste of what I have for the rest of the video. So if you're enjoying it so far, go down below, subscribe, but also comment free, and I'll send you a free guide to dominate college football 26. All right, this next playbook is one that no one's really talking about right now, but it actually has 2 crazy blitzes that you need to see. Let me show you. All right, and so that formation that I'm talking about here is going to be nickel 3-3 cub, okay? This is something that if you played older Maddens, you might know about, but it's actually really good in this game because it connects back to a lot of the concepts that we're already talking about, okay? What you're going to see, we're going to come into nickel 3 cub, Mike Blitz 0, okay? You can run whatever you want as far as coverage. Whatever you want to do, you can do that. If you want to quick adjust, put zone coverage in the field, I would maybe recommend doing that, all right? Then here's the key, though, with this blitz. Drop your defensive end right here, so the outside linebacker, right? Drop him into a curl flat zone just like this, all right? Then you're going to shift your D-line to the left, and again, it comes back to the overload turbo engage, right? Put your user in a zone, stand directly over the center. D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, okay? The reason why you're trying to do this, again, if you can do this properly, comes down to execution, right? You have 3 guys on the side where they have 2 linemen because you're going to get the attention of the center number 50, all right? We're going to try it here. I'm able to, and actually that time he actually lets me come in free. Now you're going to say, BLT, the middle of the field is wide open. That's why I say it's like you have full freedom with your coverage, because if you just ran man coverage, right, everything would be guarded. So, I mean, it's just up to you depending on what route they have called. But bottom line, you see how fast this pressure is? Because you're completely confusing the offensive line. This is really only a, 4-man rush, and you're able to instantly get the quarterback on the ground, because of it now. If you want to just run man coverage, I don't really blame you for doing that, right? So this time, we're going to have them block their running back, because the advantage to running man coverage is you only have to guard for a small amount of time, and everything's going to kind of be taken away here. But we're going to drop this linebacker right here into, you could put him in a hook curl, you can put him in a burrow, you can really do whatever you want with him. But I would shift my D-line to the left. All right, I would pass in my defense, drop my user into a zone, okay, something like this. And again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, okay? Try to get the attention, and you're actually able to see sometimes he just lets you come in free. So when you're standing over him, I talk about turbo engage. Try to get his attention, try to get back into coverage. But if he just doesn't want to block you like he doesn't on this play, run right through and go sack the quarterback. If they happen to block their running back too, it's going to be like, okay, well, the running back steps up the block and I just run right through him because I'm using a linebacker or a safety. I'm just going to overpower this man, and it's going to be a sack. So it's like whether he wants to block you, if he wants to block you, great. You're going to be able to get back into coverage. But if he just whiffs on his blocking assignment or just doesn't even recognize you at all, fantastic too, because then you're just walking right through. So again, we're going to have them block their running back again right here. We're going to set it up the same way. All right, boom, take the snap, try to get his attention. And this time, again, he just doesn't want to block me, and so I'm able to get that sack fumble. So this is kind of a weird blitz because no one's going to expect it. It's only a 4-man rush, and then you have the option to use a rush if you want. But if number 50, the center, just decides, hey, let me just not block this guy, just run right through these guys and go get the quarterback on the ground. But that's only the first blitz that I really like from this 3-4 multiple playbook. Because that second blitz is going to be from dime 2-3 odd, and it's actually a safety blitz. And you can understand why safety blitzing is so, rare and kind of uncommon here, right? You add this to your defensive repertoire, that's going to be very, very good for you, all right? So we're going to call, you can call a strong safety blitz or you can call the free safety zone blitz version. It really doesn't matter. It just depends on, which side you want to blitz from. So again, it's just your choice, but right here we're in strong safety zone blitz, all right? So all you're going to do with this is, again, this is only a 5-man rush, but the great thing is 2 of these guys are coming from off the ball, which really means that it's going to be harder for the offensive line to actually pick these guys up and recognize, okay? So you're going to stand right here over the guard, in this case, number 77, and you're trying to turn him inside. So basically, you're going to be moving your left stick a little bit down. Like, you're basically going to be swooping down, like kind of like making a motion like this, kind of like a circle, right? Where you're going to go down just a little bit and then try to get back up, all right? So I'm going to try to do it right here. We're going to have them in base protection. This time we'll have them just send 5 out. All right, boom, turn this guy inside, and then you're able to see how, boom, right? You're going to move the guard inside, then he's going to block the linebacker who comes in, but because this safety comes in so late and it's a delayed rush, you're able to get down and make this play on, that quarterback and get him on the ground. You're able to see how the offensive line, no one sees this blitz. Right, 59, the guard goes to double team. He double teams twice in this play when realistically he should just be trying to block that safety who comes in free. And the great thing about this blitz is I'm back into coverage immediately because I'm not too focused on getting the attention of the offensive line. I'm right back into coverage as soon as possible, take anything away that they might be trying to throw. And again, if you want to, again, your coverage is kind of up to you, what formation they're in, kind of what they're beating you with possibly. But if you just want to run cover 3 hard flat, I don't really blame you for it. But we're going to set it up the same way. Try to get the attention right here of the offensive line. We're going to have them block their running back actually on this play. But again, take the snap, try to move these guys inside, and then you're able to see how that time the running back never even sees me, never even look back to the other side. And that's kind of what makes this, so good and so dangerous for you is what's crazy here actually is 77 offensive linemen just got shedded by a middle linebacker. And so, if that happens, that's great. But you can also see how your safety's looping around the edge, and he's going to come in free. So, really, it doesn't matter what they do, whether they want to block their running back against this, safety zone blitz. The key concept is just getting the attention of the line for a second so you can get back into coverage. But then you're also going to send that delayed pressure, which is going to confuse the entire pass blocking AI. All right, these first 2 blitzes really don't even compare the last defensive playbook because it's a full scheme that you can use in every situation. Let me show you the 3-2-6 playbook. All right, so here we go. We're going to be in the 3-2-6 playbook. The first formation that we're going to be talking about is nickel 2-4 single mug, okay? And this was really good at the beginning of the year. It got nerfed a little bit, but now it's completely back, okay? So we're going to come into the Texas 4-man custom stunt, all right, from nickel single mug here. We're going to spread our defensive line like this. All right, so D-pad left, and then left stick up to spread your defensive line, and then you're gonna press RB, right stick up to pass commit. Now, you're calling a custom stunt, so essentially your defensive ends are gonna be looping, and they're going to be trying to run in or around the offensive guards here. So boom, we're going to take the snap as an offense. We're kind of going to see what happens. And that's what I'm talking about, where you're just trying to basically collapse the pocket with a defense like this, where it's like, okay, these guys are going to just loop around, and you can see how the tackles are kind of preparing to block them, but those guys never loop around. And so you're able to see particularly this this defensive end, he gets so deep into the backfield before he really even gets blocked. And that's the advantage of a blitz like this. You're able to get deep into the backfield and then push these guys into the quarterback versus if if you just called a standard rush, kind of probably what you're doing, it's like they have to actually shed in order to get pressure in the quarterback. But here, they don't necessarily have to shed. They just pretty much have to just push into the quarterback. So boom, you're able to see it again right there, where it's kind of the same thing, where it's like they're just looping around and they're just kind of push their way into the quarterback. Now, this is a great concept, and that's why I try to talk about concepts, so that it doesn't really matter who's on the defensive line for you, who's on their offensive line, right? Because it's not like this is a glitch blitz, right? This is really just you set up a custom stunt, something that's in the game for a reason, and you're just trying to take advantage of the fact that you're able to collapse the pocket really easily, right? And so you're going to say, BLT, that's great. You're going to be able to collapse the pocket, and you're going to be able to get pressure that way. But here's the counter, all right? I always want to be transparent, give you guys counters to counters, and then the counter to the counter to the counter for you on defense, and that's what we're going to do here. So, obviously, if you call this defense, right, your defensive ends are looping inside, right? And so if they just recognize that you call this too often or repeatedly, they're just going to take the snap, immediately roll out here, right? Because there's no contain. And so if they wanted to drop that pass out to that B receiver down the field, or they just want to check it down to the back, they can do that. So it's very, very easy to just roll out on these custom stunts, especially if you're calling a 4-man stunt and they want to roll out to the same side as their quarterback's hand is, right? So it's pretty easy, but the best way that you can counter that is to mix it up with a different stunt. All right, so you're going to press D-pad right, then you're going to press RB, and now you're going to call the left exit 2-man stunt. So now you can see how you're going to be containing off of the quarterback's handness like this, and then you're going to be stunting off of the other side. So you're really getting half of the stunt, but you're getting 100% of the contain. So I don't know, That's why it's always important to mix up defenses. This has a great use case. The first blitz with the 4-man stunt has a great use case, but you can never be too reliant on one or the other. So we're going to set it up the same way, right? They're going to go ahead and take the snap where you're going to get that stunt where you're going to be able to collapse the pocket a little bit on that left side, right? But you're going to be able to contain the quarterback very well and very easily off of this right side. So again, we're going to call this, let's see. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to press RB. I wanted to call the Texas 4-man, or excuse me, left exit 2-man, just like this. All right, now you're going to see where if we try to roll out here, you can see how our defensive lineman is running upfield to actually contain the quarterback. So they're not just going to be able to hike the ball and then roll out. They might try, and they're just going to run right into it, contain for a sack. But you're also able to get this stunt off of this, left side here. Now, this stunt with the 2-man is not as good as the stunt with the 4-man. The only reason you call the 2-man is so that you can actually contain. So that's kind of what I mean, where it's a little bit of a mix in and a mix up. Certain situations, you call certain, plays and certain stunts. But that's why 2-4 single mug's really valuable. But obviously, we're not done there because the 2-4 double mug's good. Obviously, you have 3-3 mint in this playbook, which I showed you in the first playbook. You actually have you have 3-2-6 odd, which is very similar to the safety blitz that I showed you earlier, right? If we can find it here, strong safety zone blitz. So a lot of these concepts can be carried over from playbook to playbook. But if we come into 3-3 double mug, where we call them into mid blitz, right? I'm not going to show you the send 6 kind of meta that everyone knows about, where you just line 6 guys over the line, right? What we're going to be doing is calling another overload blitz. We're going to be using the left exit 2-man stunt. Right, we're going to drop our defensive lineman into a curl flat here. So again, we're just trying to play 3-on-2 on the left side. If we can get the attention of the center, we're going to have 3 guys over the top of 2 rushers. All right, so we're going to take the snap from him. This time I do it, and so they block their running back, and that's perfect for us. We actually like for them to block their running back because that makes it honestly easier in pass coverage, but we're still going to get the same blitz because you're able to see how, boom, I get the attention of this center. All right, and now it just allows for this man 31 off the edge to walk in free, and then he's just going to run right through the running back just like you see and go get the quarterback on the ground. But also you have an extra man in coverage now because he doesn't have to cover anyone. So it really gives you the best of both worlds where you're still able to get pressure very quickly, but you don't have to necessarily worry about another man coming out of the backfield. You can also see because this is only a 4-man rush, right? You're going to be able to just drop this man into a curl flat zone and you play really good defense because, again, now you have 2 extra guys in coverage. Only a 4-man rush, and because you're spamming A/X on PlayStation, you're going to be able to get back into coverage with your user. So this is the best defense, or one of the best defenses, honestly, because you can really have total freedom. If you want to drop everyone into a zone and play zone coverage from this, you can see you set it up the exact same way. And you're going to be able to, as long as you can get the attention of the center, right? D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, turbo engage, get the attention of the center. He comes over to block the running back, and then you're just able to see same thing. So mid blitz, a lot of people talk about how it's easy to beat, but if you actually make adjustments from it, call custom stunts, have a good user, mix up your coverages, both double mug and single mug are really good defenses from the 3-2-6 playbook. All right, if you liked any of the defensive concepts I talked about in this video, or you want to learn more about my 3-2-6 defense, I encourage you to go to the link down below in the description and pin comment and check it out today. You can use code to get 20% off your first purchase. But if you're still struggling on offense here in College Football 26, I recommend you check out this video where I break down 5 secrets to help you score every drive. I'll see you over there.